field. From your perspective on the bench, what was it in that game that caused the team to really struggle out of their own end?
Well, they did we're playing a desperate team, a team that, is top in the conference and hadn't won was winless in 5. So we knew they were going to come hard. And to be honest with you, I thought the first period was good pace. We got hemmed in a couple times. They forced a couple turnovers. A little bit was us being careless, and a little bit was them, doing a good job. So I thought we still had chances. I think if we score on that first power play, where there was certainly a flurry in front of McKenna, it's a different story. And then they get a couple breaks on the power play. Some bounces go their way. One goes off Helgeson, the other one kind of a soft play that they get a tip on and redirect. So, I don't think the 4-0 goal score was indicative of how we played. With that being said, we got to find a way to maybe bury one in the first period and give us a little more life. I thought for the most part, though, for at least half the game, we played hard against a good team that was desperate.
It looked like frustration started to pick up a little bit as the game went along. I guess that's to be expected. How do you deal with that, both yourself on the bench as well as the team as a whole?
I think it was healthy, to tell you the truth. I think there's no question that some of those calls were worth the frustration. The game, I don't want to say it was out of reach, and we couldn't have mounted a comeback, but it was good to see some emotion in some guys. And Boucher, after a very weak call, comes out and blast their defenseman into the goaltender. Just stuff like that. Guys got to find a way. Things aren't going their way to produce energy and do stuff, and that got a reaction from our bench. So it's little things like that, and maybe we needed a bit of that to creep into our game. I didn't think it was so much frustration with our game as it was a little bit of frustration with how they were playing and some of the maybe questionable hits, and then obviously the calls. But we certainly don't want to do that every game, but in a game like that, when you can't seem to find anything to go your way, it was good to see the guys get a little ticked off.
2 games with Eric Gelinas so far in the lineup, but when we first got here, you said he'd keep things simple. What have you thought of his play so far?
I think it's been pretty good. He looks like he's certainly made. He looks like an NHL defenseman out there now. He's moving his feet a little more. He seems to react more after a play's made, or he's involved in the play, stays in his shift better than he maybe did in the past. I think the biggest thing with him is he doesn't have to think offense every shift. He's obviously had some success up there, but I've liked his physical play, his gap, all that stuff. He's going to have to continue to be just focused on being strong defensively here, and also realize, this isn't an easy league to play on for a couple reasons. There's good players, and he's still going to get challenged, but also, it's sometimes harder to play because the structure's not quite as clean as it is in the NHL.
Have you noticed in him a difference in confidence, either positively from his play up there or negatively coming down in the top?
Absolutely, positively. He's talking on the bench. Like I said, he's just more involved in the game. He seems like he's matured, but I noticed that at the beginning of the year as well. He looked a lot more determined at the beginning of the season, and I don't want to say took on a leadership role, but was a lot more vocal, praising guys, holding guys accountable, and I think when you hear that from a player, you realize he's in the game more. And Jelly was a guy that, in the past maybe you didn't hear him as much, but I certainly think he's matured that way, and that's certainly a good sign.